Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path. Today, I'm going to bring back an oldie but a goodie project that I've done in the past. Back in 2010, Carol Cipher, who is the author of the book Mastering Beadwork, was nice enough to let me do some videos based on projects from her book. One of the projects that I did was a project from page 70 called the Sparkle Dash and Dot Bracelet. Here. And it shows you how to do Dutch spiral stitch. Back in 2010, I had different cameras, different lighting, whole 9 yards. So I contacted her and I said, hey, listen, do you mind if I do an updated video and if we do a bead along on this project? So basically, Carol sent me a message back. She was like, absolutely, yes, no problem. So I'm going to redo this video today and show you how to do this project. Then, if you decide to make one, be sure and post a picture on my closed Facebook page, and you can find the link below this video. But post your picture. Tell us what colors you use, tell us what beads you use, so that we can see all the different versions that there are to make of this bracelet. Now, for this bracelet, which can also be made into a really pretty necklace, you're going to need 4 grams of a size 11 seed bead, and that's going to be your color A bead. The other thing you're going to need is 5 grams as a size 8/0 seed bead, and that's going to be your color B bead. And then she said she used 126 4mm Bicones, and that's going to be your C color. You can use a size 10 or a 12 needle, either will work. And then Carol has used the Power Pro number 10 thread. You can use your Fireline. I have used my 1G thread, but I will tell you, if you're going to use your 1G thread, I would be sure and double it for the security of your crystals. Now, I've done a sample with Bicone beads that I'm going to show you, and the actual sample I'm going to do in the project today, I've used round beads so that you can kind of see the difference of the look it'll be if you use like a round versus a Bicone shape. But go ahead, you're going to need to thread your needle with a comfortable length of thread. I started with 2 yards, and I've had to add thread on, let's see, once, twice. So basically so far I've used 6 yards with one that I have not completely finished yet, but pretty much. So go ahead and get your stuff together and we'll get started. So as you can see, I have my beads labeled and laid out the way that Carol uses them in the book. And step 1 is going to establish the rope's diameter. So you're going to pick up 1C, 2A, and 2 B beads, and you are going to pass them through all of them again, and then pass through the C again. So I'm going to go right back up through all 2, 4, 5 of these beads again, and Carol says to leave about a 10 to 12 inch tail. And you can do that, or you can add on new thread at the end. It's completely up to you and what you want to do. But once you've gone through all of them, then you're going to go through the C one more time, so that when you pull the thread, you're going to have a tail thread and a working thread coming out of the same bead. Now, you are going to pick up 2A and 1B, if I can ever get a hold of it. There we go. You are going to skip your 2 A's and go through the first B of your set of 2. And pull that, and when you pull that, make sure that your beads go on top, that they don't go to the bottom. Now the next step is to pick up 1 bead and go through the very next B. So I'm just going through the very next bead here in my initial circle. So that's going to kind of stick out there. And then pick up 1C and go through the C. So I'm going to go through the very next bead. And I'm going to move those beads here out of the way, because you don't want to go through those. There we go. Okay. So at this point, it's going to look like the Hot Mess Express, but we going to fix it. Okay, so this is what you've got so far. Now we're going to make it a little bit bigger. So this time it's going to be 3 A's and 1 B. And you're going to again go through the very next B, which is going to be this one right here after your 2 A's. So go through, and when you go through, make sure the beads stay on top like this. Pick up 1 B, go through the next B that's sticking out, which is going to be this one, and pull that nice and tight. Pick up 1 C, and go through the next C, which is going to be this one, and pull that through. Now we're back to the beginning again, so 3 A's and 1 B. I'm going to go through the next B, which is going to be this little baby sticking up right here. It's the one right after my A's. Okay, now 1 B, and go through the next B that's sticking up, which is going to be this one here. And 1 C, and you go through the next C. So basically, whatever you're fixing to go through is the bead that you're going to pick up. Okay? And we're just going to continue this. At this point, it doesn't change. So you're going to do 3 A's and a B. And you're going to go through the next B, which is going to be the one right after our A's. And then pick up a B. Go through the next B sticking up. And then pick up a C and go through the next C. So you can already see in this little bit here that it kind of looks like the Hot Mess Express, but I promise you, the more that you sit here and do, the better this baby's going to come to looking. So you're going to have 3 A's and a B, and go through the next B, which is going to be this one here. A B, and go through the B sticking up, and then a C, and go through the C. Alright, now one thing that you'll notice, whoops, I at first thought about trying to make this into a bangle, but one thing you'll notice is that here in the very beginning, right here, this first initial circle, your spiral starts here and then kind of winds around this way, and this bead actually looks kind of like it's not supposed to be there, but it is. It's supposed to be there. So that's what kind of makes it hard to make it into a bangle. So I'm going to show you Carol's way of putting on the clasp. She makes her own special clasp here. So we're just going to keep repeating this until you have a length that will go all the way around your wrist. So when you put it around your wrist, you want these ends to be able to touch. Now I've continued on this whole thing just like I'm supposed to, and now we have to actually take this side and make it smaller like this side is. Remember, we only started out with 2 beads here on the end. So coming out from where I'm at, coming out of my C, so I'm going to pick up 2 A's and a B, and I'm going to pass through my B. Okay, and then pick up my B and go through the B, and then pick up my C and go through the C. Alrighty, now we're going to do 1 A and 1 B and pass through the next B, which is going to be this one. And then a B and go through my B as normal. And then a C and go through the C. So this will get you tapered down so that this end will be smaller like the beginning end. Alright, now we have to actually weave our clasp. So from where I'm coming out of this bead, I'm going to pick up 2A, 12B. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 1C and 3 A's. Okay, I'm going to let all of these drop down. Make sure my thread's here. Okay, I'm going to go back up through the C and the B. So I'm skipping my A's. Hold these beads, pull the thread straight out the way that it's exiting out of the bead. And this is going to make a little peacoat here under your C, and that's exactly what you want to happen. Now, from here, I'm going to pick up an A, a C, and 3 A's. I'm going to let those drop down. And I'm going to go through the C, the A, and then the next B here going up my little column, I guess I would call it. So that now it gives me another little embellishment. And I'm going to do this 7 more times, just adding these little beads as I go back up on this one fringe. So I've added my little fringes as far as I wanted to go up. And I've came out of my 2 11s here, and I'm ready to start the next step. So I want this fringe to actually kind of be centered over these beads. So I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to come through the next 11, or which would be my A. Now the good thing is there's going to be so many fringes on here that you're not going to see anything. This is what it'll look like when I pull it nice and tight. Alright, now I'm going to show you the second type of fringe, and again using still my A, B's, and C's here. And the good thing, you can do these fringes however many you want. Carol suggests 6 fringes, and she does 3 different fringes. So for the second fringe, you're going to pick up 4A, 10B, 6A, 1B, 1C, 1A, 1C, 1A, and 1C. Okay, so we let all this drop down here. This is what it's looking like here. Alright, now I'm going to pass back up the B and the 6A. So I'm skipping all those crystals at the bottom basically. Hold that and pull that on through. So that it'll make like a little triangle of beads here. And this is the part about using round beads that doesn't work out as well because you have to really pull that nice and tight. Alright, now I'm going to pick up 3A, 1C, and 1A. I'm going to let these beads drop down. And I'm going to pass back through the C and the 3 A's here. Hold this baby in place and pull the thread so that this is what it looks like. And then for the third little thing here that I've got to do, I'm going to pick up 5A, 1C, and 1A. I'm going to let these drop down. I'm going to go through the C and then all the way back up here to the top. So as I pull that, and I get both my threads even here, that's going to do a little fringe like this. And Carol says to do 6 total fringes. So this is 2. And so from where I'm coming out here at the top, I'm just going to go through the very next 8. The one that's right next to this 11. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the 3rd fringe. For the 3rd fringe, you're going to pick up 2A, 9B, 1C, 1A, 1C, and 1B. And you're going to let these drop down. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to form these almost into like a little circle or a little point here. So you're going to basically skip these last 2, 3, 5 beads and then come up through all the rest of them. And when I finish this one, I'm just going to go through the next 8 here. Pull that tight so that it does like that. So that now I have 3 fringes. You want 6 total, so you can pick whichever 6 you want to on this outer loop here to do your different fringes with. Now I will tell you, when you finish that, you'll tie off the thread on this end. I finished my fringes here, my 6 fringes, and I've tied off the thread. And then I've threaded the needle onto the tail thread here on the other end, and it's coming out of my my B's here, and this is the only color we're going to be working with right this second. So I'm going to pick up 2 B's, and I'm going to go back through the 2 B's here along the top edge. Oh, let me pull that through. It's kind of tight there. So I'm going back through those 2 so that it makes a little circle, and then I'm going to go down through the 2 B's I just added. Pick up 2 B's. My thread's coming out of the bottom, so I'm going to come right back down through those same 2 B's so that it makes a little circle. And then I'm going to go up through the 2 B's that I just added. And I'm going to keep doing this ladder of B's until I have 12 stacks total. So I'm going to come up through that stack. And then down through the 2 that I just added. Wow, I'm getting everything caught here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so continue until you have 12 stacks of beads. So once you have your ladder of 12, you actually want to take it and put it around your fringes to see if it will fit. You want it to be a little bit of a tight fit, but you also want it to be able to move just a little bit. So I think I'm going to have a good fit here. And so what I'm going to do is, from where my thread is coming out, I'm going to try to pull these back so that you can see this pretty good. From where my thread is coming out here, I'm going to come back through those first 2 8s again on the base that I started with. And I'm having to go through them one at a time, especially that second one because it's kind of tight to get through. Let me grab my pliers here. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to come back down through the last 2 beads that I added so that it pulls that together to make a loop, so that now you can slide these down a little bit and slide it up. This is made to where you can roll it on your hand, and then this will slide down and up as needed. If it doesn't slide down and up well, or it doesn't slide over your little tube here, then you may need to make this a little bit bigger. But we'll want to reinforce this, so I'm going to go through those 2 beads one more time here on the base, and really experiment and play with this and see, you know, the different kinds of fringes that you can do, and then the different kinds of, you know, clasp and closures that you can do with this. You know, the great thing about beadwork is no matter who comes up with it, you know, the Dalai Lama himself could come up with it, and it's just, you know, we're coming up with an idea, and then you get to flow with it and really have a good time with it. So that is the one good thing, to really play with these designs. Alright, so I've got that done, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my A's again, my little small ones here. I'm going to pick up 3, and I'm going to go up through the next stack of beads, and this is going to put a little embellishment here. And then I'm going to pick up 3, and I'm going to go down through the next stack. And I'm just going to go around putting on 3 beads and going up through the next stack and down through the next stack, kind of making a little zigzagging motion. You can see here what it looks like. It's going to fill in this space here and really give you a nice embellishment on this little closure part, so that once you do this and you've kind of zigzagged back and forth adding your embellishments along the side, then I'll show you the finished piece with bicones. Okay, so this one was rounds, and then this one here is with bicones, and you can see the clasp here that I've done is the same thing, and I've got all my fun little pieces here on my little embellishments, and you can see what it looks like here with the bicones versus the round beads. So you do get a different look to it with the kind of beads that you use. So I hope you enjoyed this oldie but goodie project. And again, you can find the pattern for this in the book Mastering Beadwork. You can find this at your local bead store. Amazon sells it as well. Oh my gosh, I just knocked myself in the head. But you definitely, if you don't have this book, get it. And if you do have the book, go through it and do some projects through it again, man, because it is a good book. And if you make one of these bracelets, be sure and post your finished bracelet in our Facebook group. I've got a regular Facebook page for Off the Beaded Path, and I've got a closed Facebook group as well, and it's a lot of really fun people in that group that will give you some great feedback on your projects. Just be sure and put on there what colors or brands or whatever you use so people will know. And remember, you can always find beads for this project at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. And if you make one of these and post it on social media, be sure and tag Carol in it so Carol gets to see all these awesome bracelets that you guys are making. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye!